cr101radio.com, podcasts, and more.
36. How to live with yourself. Part 2, on getting the most out of life. November the 17th, 1953. Good morning, friends. Last week, we began a discussion of how to live with yourself. We saw that most people find it difficult to keep from judging themselves. We all fall short of God's law, but even the man who denies God's law can never avoid self-condemnation. He feels even his own self-made standard. No man has ever been what he wants to be. Thus, even when we lower the law to our own human level, we feel it and are left with a sense of failure and guilt. And, having this guilt, we judge ourselves harshly and make our lives miserable with self-condemnation. We can only escape from this predicament as we accept Christ's sacrifice in our stead. He takes our condemnation and we accept his new life and have freedom in him. This morning, let's look at another problem connected with living with ourselves. Many people are haunted by the fear that they are not getting the most out of life. This is true of teenagers, young married couples, the middle-aged, and the elderly. They feel that somehow they are missing something in life. Each one has his own reasons for feeling that way. One person feels that marriage is tying him down and keeping him from life. Some women feel that their children are stealing the best years of their lives and fret at missing out on so much freedom and fun. Others feel that lack of children is a reason why they are not really living, and they fret over this desert stretch in their lives. Then there are those who hate all morality and call it only prejudice. To them, morals are merely chains keeping men from free life. All around us, people fret themselves sick over their failure to get the most out of life. They spend their years looking for life with growing unhappiness over their increasing inability to find it. There's nothing more pathetic than a dying man who fights against death because he feels that he hasn't had a chance to live yet. We can never live very peaceably with ourselves as long as we feel that our whole existence is made up of shadows rather than the real thing. The fact that most people are not getting the most out of life and know they are not is a very encouraging fact. It tells us that God is still on the throne, and the penalty for neglect of him and life apart from him is a walking death. We act like beings, but in our hearts we are dead to life and the world. Everything has soured on us, and we find that nothing really pleases us any longer except our hopes and our imagination. Our frustration is an encouraging fact because it demonstrates the relentless force of God's law. No man can get the most out of life unless he is prepared to give the most to life. And there, most of us feel. We expect life to enrich us constantly, but feel ourselves under no requirement to give ourselves to others in his name. Jesus said, "For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it." Luke 9:24. This seems to put everything backwards. It says that the only way to get anything out of life is to expect nothing, and the only way to keep your life is to throw it away. Actually, this is the way things should be. The real trouble is not in life, but in ourselves. As long as we make our wants and wishes central, we miss out on life, because life is never geared to us and our needs, but only to God and his requirements. If we take our new car, put it up on a foundation and try to live in it, we will miss most out of what the car offers us. This car was never invented to be anything but a motor vehicle. As such, it fits the bill. As a house, it's a miserable failure. The same is true of our lives. We were made for a purpose, the service and the glory of the Lord. If we try to use our lives for any other purpose, we find ourselves frustrated by the obvious unfitness and unhappiness of our lives in anything but their godly function. And the Lord's purpose for us is simply this. Our duty is not to get the most out of life, but to give the most to it. When we give, when we are ready to throw away our lives for His sake, then we get the most out of life. We see that our life here is a short span set against eternity. We see also that the only important thing in our lives should be to give ourselves as the Lord requires. Jesus said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Matthew 6:33. We are not made to please ourselves, but to please God. When we please Him, then we have peace and joy in Him and are able to live at peace with ourselves. As Andrew Murray stated it, do what God asks you to do. God will do more than you can ask Him to do. Give, and you shall receive, and the gift that He asks for is your life.